video, okay? It's all Epic Universe now. Media has been there, people are in the parks, they're filming. Anything content related is going to be Epic Universe now, okay? That is all people are looking for. Actually, just the day that I'm filming this video, was able to get my annual pass holder preview tickets. So I've got 3 days where I'll be at Epic Universe and I'm gonna try to make as much content for you guys. But until then, we're gonna do some prep videos for Epic Universe, get you guys excited for your future trip, because though some people have gotten to go to the park already, not everybody has just yet. And there are some things that you should probably do that aren't buying your tickets and booking your hotels. It's actually kind of the fun stuff and something that I used to do all the time whenever I'd get ready to visit Universal or even Disney. Watch some movies. So this video is all about what to watch in preparation for your trip to Epic Universe. I want to inform you of the movies you should be watching before you go to Epic Universe, so when you go to the park, you have a better understanding of what's around you, you have a better connection to everything that's around you, and therefore, you just have a better experience overall. There are 5 worlds at Epic Universe. 4 of them are based off of very popular IPs. So we're gonna go with the first one, closest to the entrance of the park, How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk. Now, this one here is pretty straightforward. Isle of Berk is based off of the How to Train Your Dragon animated movies. There are 3 of those. So without getting too much into spoilers, the Isle of Berk land takes place after the second movie, but before the third. So for the whole area, I would 100% recommend watching all 3 of the How to Train Your Dragon movies. 1, because they're really great. They're some of the best animated movies I've seen anywhere. I love them. They're really, really great. And 2, even though the land itself takes place after 2, there are some things in the third movie that appear in the land. Those things, of course, being the Nightlights. Toothless's kids. He has kids in the third movie, and these are those very cute baby dragons that you have seen in the videos all around. These are characters that only exist in the third movie. And speaking of characters with the Isle of Berk, pretty much every major character from the How to Train Your Dragon movies makes an appearance. You have got Hiccup, obviously, Toothless, Astrid shows up, Stormfly, the big blue dragon, makes appearances as well. And then you have appearances from Rough Nut and Tough Nut. They wander around the land. You can get some really fun character interactions with them. And even Gobber, the blacksmith, has a forge near the Mead Hall restaurant where you can interact with him and his dragon and hear all of his different stories. So there are tons of characters that are going to be walking around this world, and if you haven't seen the How to Train Your Dragon movies, like, you're going to be like, who the heck are these guys? They are pretty important characters that are featured in all of the movies. If you get through those movies, you'll have a very good gist of what is happening here in How to Train Your Dragon. This is kind of the point in time where all the Vikings have embraced dragon living, and the storyline of the Isle of Berk is that you're actually kind of there at the same day that they're building a hatchery, a place where they can take care of all the baby dragons that now are being born here at Berk. So that's what the plot of the show, The Untrainable Dragon, is. There are some slight character changes in the show due to things that happen in the movie, but I'm not going to spoil that because this video is not here to spoil you. So, How to Train Your Dragon, super straightforward. Watch movies 1, 2, and 3. There is a live action movie coming up as well, and I think, you could watch that too. It seems to be a pretty one-for-one remake of the animated film. In my opinion, I think the animated films are the way to go. The visual style of the world is based off of the animated movies, and I just know they're gonna be better. I just know, I don't know. I hate live action remakes. So watch the animated original version. You will enjoy that. Next up is The Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic. So this one here is kind of a little bit of both, right? This world, as you've probably seen already, incorporates the 1920s Paris of the Fantastic Beasts movies and the Harry Potter main timeline with the British Ministry of Magic. So regarding Harry Potter, you have got a lot to see and do, okay? If you have not already, gosh, I don't even know, honestly. Let's talk about the ride, Battle at the Ministry. This one's a little bit to talk about because this ride takes place with very specific Harry Potter characters, and it takes place after the events of the movie. So if you don't know the plot of the Battle of the Ministry, you are in the 1990s British Ministry of Magic, and you are there to witness the trial of Dolores Umbridge, a big villain in the Harry Potter books and movies. She first appears in Order of the Phoenix, and she kind of is the main antagonist throughout that film. She's a pretty big bad character, and a lot of people don't like her. So I think the fact that there's a whole ride just about the trial of Dolores Umbridge, that I think even if it was just like a normal ride where nothing happened and we just watched her go guilty, people would be very happy with that experience, okay? She's just a really, really mean, awful character. I would say at bare minimum, if you were to watch one Harry Potter movie, it would have to be The Order of the Phoenix. Though I think Harry Potter at Universal is kind of a package deal where you should probably try to watch all 7 or all 8 of the Harry Potter movies, actually, because Deathly Hallows is split up between 1 and 2. And this ride seems to incorporate a lot. Is going to require a lot of pre-existing Harry Potter knowledge. You're going to need to know what the Ministry of Magic is. You're going to need to know who Dolores Umbridge is. You're going to need to know why she's in jail. You're going to need to know what a time turner is, right? So all of that put together, I think requires kind of context of the entire Harry Potter series. The world itself is based strongly off of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the movie series. So there are 3 movies there that star Newt Scamander and take place before the events of Harry Potter, and I would say you'd probably need to watch 2 of them. The first one, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, is probably the best out of all the Fantastic Beasts movies, if I'm not gonna lie. It actually takes place in like 1920s New York. You kind of get to see a little bit of like the American wizard world, but this is how we are introduced to the character of Newt Scamander. He is a magizoologist. He wrote the book Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and the world takes place around that time where the book has just come out, and the Wizarding World is sort of embracing all of these different magical creatures. So that's why you'll go through the land and you're gonna see all these different creatures scattered about. So he takes care of all these creatures with his magical suitcase that he uses, that is kind of opens up a world inside of a suitcase where he has different environments and I don't know, biomes for the different creatures that he takes care of. He is featured in the Cirque Arcanu show, which is based in the Fantastic Beasts timeline. Cirque Arcanu and 1920s Paris are both featured in the second Fantastic Beasts movie, The Crimes of Grindelwald. You can watch this. The majority of the movie takes place in Paris, and like in the world itself, there are references to Grindelwald. There are characters who talk about Grindelwald, but there's no ride, or the show doesn't connect to sort of the big bad of those movies, which is Gellert Grindelwald. So yes, for the Ministry of Magic world, you should watch all the Harry Potter movies, sorry, and the first 2 Fantastic Beasts movies. The third one, don't worry about it. Has nothing to do with anything. And then, that brings us over to Dark Universe, Universal's Monsterland. Now, this one here can be a little bit intimidating at first. All of the monsters make an appearance in this world, so you might feel pressured to watch all of the monster movies. The good news is, you don't have to if you don't have the time. I would recommend trying to cut into them. They are great classic movies. They are incredibly influential to Universal as a whole, and I think once you start watching these movies, you will appreciate all of Dark Universe and, you know, even by extension, Halloween Horror Nights as well, considering there are a lot of Universal monster-based haunted houses. Actually, my friend Jordan, thank you for lending me this movie collection. I've been able to watch a lot of the monster movies because of this. They sell these in big packs. You can get all the monster movies in one go, and it's very easy to do. But regarding Dark Universe, there's really about 3 or 4 movies that are kind of more heavily referenced in the Dark Universe world. The most important movie that you should absolutely watch is Frankenstein. That one plays a big part in the world. Victoria Frankenstein is a descendant of the character from the movie, and all of the events that play out in that movie have some sort of influence in the world. Spoilers, for example, sorry, I'm gonna spoil an almost 100-year-old movie for you here, but at the end of the Frankenstein movie, the villagers band together, they chase Frankenstein's monster into a windmill, and they light it on fire. That windmill exists in the Dark Universe world as the Burning Blade Tavern. That whole village in the Frankenstein movie kind of helped inspire Darkmoor. Frankenstein Manor is a big old place. You go in there, there's a picture of Henry Frankenstein. Even references to smaller characters like the Burgomaster, who's kind of like the chief of the village. He's referenced in the world as well. You also need to watch The Bride of Frankenstein, because The Bride of Frankenstein appears in the world, and also her creator, Dr. Pretorius, has a shop. Those characters and their descendants have very big roles to play in the Dark Universe. So I would definitely try to watch those movies above all of the monster movies. Another one too that I would recommend and I think would be fun to have is The Invisible Man. The Invisible Man is a character that appears in Dark Universe, and I like the movie a lot. So you should watch that one to kind of understand the Invisible Man character a little bit more. So when you meet him, you can say the right things, you can impress him, get a little better conversation out of that character, right? There is also, of course, The Curse of the Werewolf. You could watch the Wolfman movie if you'd like. Larry Talbot is meant to be the Wolfman on the Monsters Unchained ride, and there are references to the Wolfman movie in The Curse of the Werewolf Cube. The nice thing about these monsters and sort of how iconic they have become over these past years is that, no pun intended, they're kind of universal. On Monsters Unchained, you're gonna see tons of different monsters on this ride. You know, the Hunchback of Notre Dame makes an appearance, the Phantom of the Opera makes an appearance, Dracula is on the ride as well. And even though Dracula is kind of like the big baddie of this ride and maybe of the entire world, the concept of Dracula and a vampire is so well etched into pop culture nowadays that you kind of don't really need to watch the Dracula movie, or at least I don't think you do. Your encounter with these monsters in the world, on the rides, can kind of exist based off of what you know about them without having seen the movies. Now, do I think you should watch some of these movies? Absolutely. You should always try to watch some old movies. A lot of those great old films, if you've not really dived into them before, they're really influential and iconic for a reason, and they really did lay the groundwork for a lot of stuff that exists now. So please show your appreciation to the monster movies. But overall, if you wanted to have kind of the best understanding of what's going on in Dark Universe and appreciate the references a little bit more, you could get by with just Frankenstein, The Bride of Frankenstein, and I guess The Invisible Man. And lastly, that brings us to Super Nintendo World. The world based off of the very popular video game franchise Nintendo. For this world, there is one movie I would recommend. It is the recently released Mario Brothers movie. The Mario in this movie is not the same Mario in Super Nintendo World. Super Nintendo World is really, truly at its core based off of the Nintendo video games. It's kind of a hodgepodge of everything. It's not based off a specific video game, you know. There have been a bunch of different versions of Mario Kart and Donkey Kong. It's all kind of the essence of Nintendo put into one world. But I would say that if you wanted to watch a movie to kind of get you in the mood for Super Nintendo, the Mario Brothers movie would be the one to do. This features Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, Toad. These are all characters that are going to show up in the world, and a big chunk of the movie also takes place in Donkey Kong Country. So you've got your Mario representation there, and you've got your Donkey Kong representation. Now, if you wanted to play some games in preparation for Super Nintendo World, I mean, it's gotta be Mario Kart, right? If you have a Nintendo Switch, you can play any version of Mario Kart, and it is going to get you in the spirit of Super Nintendo World. Though I will say that the current Mario Kart game, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, that tends to feel the most like Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. And as far as Donkey Kong goes, you know, a big part of those Donkey Kong games is being on a cart, jumping from track to track. All of the games feature that in some way, though Nintendo just recently put out Donkey Kong Country Returns, an HD remaster for the Nintendo Switch that is going to give you the most straightforward Donkey Kong experience. Just like the monsters, kind of how I talked about, all these Nintendo games, and really Nintendo as a whole, as a brand, has existed for so long and is so iconic that you can just go in there with the gist. You know, in your however many years on Earth that you've existed, you have probably had some encounter with a Mario or Donkey Kong game. Whether it be the original Donkey Kong, where you had to go up the stairs as Mario and dodge the barrels, or Super Smash Brothers, or the original Mario Kart, you know, Mario on Nintendo 64. Nintendo has been with us for a very long time. So as long as you've played a Nintendo game and you can recognize Mario, Luigi, Donkey Kong, you're gonna have a great time in Super Nintendo World. And that's all I've got for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this helps you in some capacity. Thank you guys for being so patient with my channel as we wait to step foot into Epic Universe, okay? Trust me, I know I want to be there so bad. I want to make videos there so bad. It is coming. It is going to be soon, 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 all right? I cannot wait to finally be there, and I am so looking forward to putting out some more amazing videos that'll help you prepare for your trip to Epic Universe. But until then, hopefully this helps you get ready in a fun way as well.